or they will call that a trampoline. But it's
something like that.
But it's basically just a mesh net that you can hang out on in between the catamaran hulls.
Right.
So how big was this catamaran that you saw?
Probably 35, 40 feet long.
35 or 40 feet long, okay. And where was it? It was just in a marina someplace? Or where?
Yeah, it was in the marina next to that El Galeon.
And what made you feel like it had my name all over it?
Because you love to be on the beach somewhere, docked with your catamaran in the water, and with you sipping on a cold beverage, looking at your catamaran, not knowing where you're going to go to next.
I'm mostly in agreement with you. I just don't feel like a catamaran is necessarily the thing to do. But, okay.
And this is how this podcast goes, because we're live, by the way.
We are live. I know that we're live. We're live. Good morning. Happy Sunday. You've got two of us right here, Frank Heathington and Jeff Wheeler, bringing it to you live.
I am mobile right now.
About an hour later than we typically bring it to you live. But we are here nonetheless. The show must, as they say, go on.
It must roll.
Go on. But here we are, saying good morning, seeing what is going on, what we have to share with you, what we have to say, what we have to discuss. So, Frank, Frank has been out of town, illustriously, bringing in things from
illustriously.
I slipped that in there just to see if you were paying attention.
So, St. Augustine, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's
home of the Fountain of Youth.
Home of the Fountain of Youth.
Yes.
Home of Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Is it? I thought that was in Orlando these days.
Frank and Megan had their wedding reception.
Yeah, that's very true. The Casa Monica Hotel is also there.
That's where you got married, isn't it?
No, it was outside of it.
Okay.
And then the Littner Museum.
Within a long bike ride of where you got married.
Lightner Museum.
Ah.
It's not the St. Augustine Alligator Farm.
And then it's also home to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. So I would.
Okay, so let me share something with you that you all should, anybody who's listening or paying attention should definitely look into doing, and this will probably get me in trouble later. But if you were to take a small remote-controlled boat, remove the top housing of it, and put a fake alligator head on it, and then you're able to remote control a fake alligator head as if it was a boat. Think about all the tubers that are going down those rivers in Florida, right? And then they have a little alligator head come up there as if it is coming to visit them while they're tubing. Can you imagine the panic that would happen?
Well, what I was thinking, which would be an excellent idea, and this is just me thinking out loud, was, okay, so you have a company that, because it's a giant tourist destination, right? So there's all these campy shops that are around.
In where? Where is it?
In St. Augustine.
Okay,
St. Augustine.
Got it. Tourist trap.
And so they're celebrating their 450th anniversary in September of the founding of St. Augustine.
Okay.
And I've got breaking news for you on this one. Breaking news. And the public does not even know about this. But the Pope will be visiting St. Augustine for the 450th founding of St. Augustine. So now it is out in the world. You heard it first from this podcast. The Pope will be doing his blessing on St. Augustine in September of 2015.
September 2015. Nice.
September 2015. But my stream of consciousness runs slow. What I was going to tell you is, I feel like we should have drones, right? So we have drones that take camera pictures for the tourists. So you basically give them a 20-minute tutorial on how to run said drone. They sign a waiver, so if they screw it up, if it lands in the water or something, or if it hits traffic, causes an accident, your legal initiations or obligations are now waived from that. So you have them, and then somehow you have them take cameras, pictures, and shots, and the tourist goes to a website or something from your drone company, and then they get to take the pictures with them, and then they have an aerial view of St. Augustine.
You think that the Pope is going to let little drones fly all over St. Augustine?
What do you think? That a good business strategy?
Well, I just don't think that it's going to be practically applicable, because I don't think that it's going to be accepted by the powers that be. And the Catholic Church tends to be very stagnant in its concepts.
It is a niche market. It is a niche market. A niche market.
Right. Is that like Nietzsche, France, or some such thing?
That was Vichy, France.
Ah, Vichy, France. Okay.
Then now there is Nice, France, if that's where you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, so I feel like I should have said that. I feel like I should have said that because today is Easter, so I'm just giving the Pope some credit. So
Viva
I'm
la
reaching
Pope.
out. You know, I mean, he's expressing support for the Iran nuclear deal, which I know nothing
I
about.
mean, you could run a car and do it.
Also, he sent us a very good blessing for everybody in the world. But he also mentioned Syria, Iraq, and all the hell that's going down in Yemen
Is
right
it
now.
the Syria and the Iraq?
The Syria and the Iraq, because there are actually not two countries anymore. They're just
It's parts of the same world.
parts of the same world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know. I know.
But it was very interesting to be around.
Did you do anything for Passover?
Passover's next week,
No,
right?
Passover begins Friday at sundown.
But that's Good Friday.
No, it's Passover's after that, right?
Passover is after Good Friday.
Okay. Have you done any? Are you going to do anything for Passover?
Is basketball on? No.
No, Kentucky lost, right?
Because Kentucky lost in an epic battle last night.
Was it epic, or did they just lose?
They pretty much lost ungraciously because the team afterwards didn't even shake the other team's hand as the game was over. They didn't even shake it. They just walked off stage.
Yeah, but who says you're supposed to do that stuff? Like, really, if you're at war, you don't shake your enemy's hand once you're done with it.
So, any rate, the Kentucky season is over. Your Final Four, your championship game is going to be Wisconsin against Duke. The evil empire. And all the CBS executives' heads exploded because they were trying for the UK Duke matchup and they didn't get it. But other than that,
You want to know what the train wreck of the week is? Google images of Tara Reid. Apparently, she just had some new pictures from when she was out on a beach somewhere. Of
how
her,
is she still relevant?
in her body is just unbelievably, atrociously hurtful to look at.
So she's not doing porn now.
I don't think that she's doing porn yet, because I don't think anybody would pay for that ever.
Well, was she in Sharknado?
I am not familiar with her movie stints, and that probably makes me a little better human to not know.
So I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yes.
Should all restrooms be pull to enter or push to leave? What would be your decision on that?
Well, pull to enter and push to leave are the same thing.
So you're saying when you're leaving the restroom,
I think they should be pushed to enter, pull to leave with a toe pull. Right?
With a what?
With a toe pull. There's in many restaurants they'll have a little hook, right at the very bottom of the door, right at the very bottom. You stick your toe underneath it and you pull the door open, so that you don't have to put your hands on the door handle. Because when you need to go, and you need to go into the restroom, you need that door to open that direction into the restroom.
I think that's a good
And if you've
concept.
ever stood in line at a restroom that has a pull to open door, it's a huge pain in the ass.
I don't know if that'd necessarily work in something like a most airplanes. I mean, most airports they have no doors at all when you're going to the bathroom.
Right, which is okay with me too. Okay, so I watched a little bit of the Scientology HBO special this past week.
Oh yeah, how did you see that? Did you see it through Netflix or?
No, I watched it on HBO.
Okay.
On HBO proper. And because I got HBO proper at the house. And looking at it, it makes me believe all over again that the Scientology is just this group of crazies that does the thing, and it brings it up in the vein of Easter here, where in another religious holiday, and it's a very religious time, and just proves to me all over again that the human animal enjoys religion because it explains the unexplainable. Scientology does the exact same thing as Christianity did in the 1700s, or the 400 BC or whatever it was in the Middle Ages. It explained the unexplainable.
400 BC in the Middle Ages.
No, 400 AD in the Middle Ages. Isn't that about when the Middle Ages was, or was that like 1100?
That was more like the 1100s. 400s was around the Roman Empire.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying. I think, honestly, the only reason they wanted this for to be a tax shelter.
Well, but they made a bunch of money, and now they have to be a tax shelter in order to be a religion, right? Otherwise, they're just an organization, which is fine. They can be an organization. I'm not against it, but it just proves to me again that the human animal wants to have an explanation of the unexplainable.
Well, I think it all kind of goes back to the founding of it.
L. Ron Hubbard being cray-cray?
No, L. Ron Hubbard, I think, had a God complex.
Yes.
And, I
That's
think
clear.
He obviously, I mean, the book that came out, what was that book that came out? Dianetrics or whatever it was?
Dianetrics, yes.
And I always remember seeing that in the bookshelves, where it's this giant volcano, right, on the top of it.
Diometrics.
Diometrics.
Yes.
Diometrics.
Which, by the way, if you search for diometrics, does that put you on a Google list?
Probably.
Okay, good, just checking. So everyone who is watching right now, please go and search diometrics.
Scientology works 100% of the time when it's properly applied to a person who sincerely desires to improve his life. I don't know.
Dianetics.
Which I thought was very interesting, right? So let me kind of describe some of their philosophy, and I feel like they make this shit up as they go along, right? I feel like this wiki is always expanding, right?
Yep.
So the thetan is the individualized expression of the cosmetic source. Thetan, thank you. So it's the true identity of a person. But my without looking at Wikipedia, my idea was these were spirits that came from aliens from a planet 60 million years ago that got thrown into the volcano, and these spirits...
Seriously feel, when you listen to the whole story, you're like, okay, somebody got really, 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 really high, and then just wrote it all down.
It's kind of like Hinduism.
No!
It's about earlier incarnations of one's present life, and with each rebirth, you have a concept of MEST, which stands for matter, energy, space, and time. Mm-hmm. On the thetan to become stronger.
Yeah, and then there's the whole holding the cans thing, right? So you're supposed to hold these cans that are electric devices, and you basically have 1/3 of a lie detector listen to the capacitance of your body, which does change when you have emotional or chemical changes in your body. So it does read a real thing that your body really does do, but then it gives it all this meaning about, oh, well, the spirits are resonating at this frequency. You really need to pay attention to this and this. I'm like, well, okay.
He was a science fiction writer.
Right, and that makes more sense than anything else, right? So his science fiction writings was like perfect to what's going on.
So can Ray Bradbury or Gene, who was the guy that created Star Trek?
Gene Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry. I would rather subscribe to the Gene Roddenberry version of religion than Scientology.
But if you want to look at one thing that is awesome about L. Ron Hubbard, is he wrote more books than I think anybody else individually has ever written. Such a prolific writer. Just wrote so many books. Most of them were garbage, but wrote so many books about stuff. So he's got an active imagination, which is good.
So
can't complain about that.
What would be your initiation level, your OT level, your
I'd be an OT6.
An OT6. Okay.
OT6C. I don't know what that means, but I just called randomly. Or could I be a 6.5 AL?
So is it better to be a higher number or a lower number?
Did you get that joke?
Totally got that
joke. Welcome in, Michelle.
But Michelle,
I'll be a 12C.
12C.
So,
you are such a trumpet player.
So Michelle, would you be? So what level would of an OT would you be, Michelle? Because I don't know.
What's an OT? Is that like OPP?
Yeah,
like,
it's like Masonic order. Whenever you get up to the 16th order of Masons, blah blah blah.
As you all know, women don't get into that shit. They give us a special little side Mason thing.
Yeah. Well, because really you're broken because God gave you an extra hole.
Actually, let me read. So I want to. All right. So this is a good segue. Jeff, this is a good segue into the random country of the day.
Oh, what is the random country of the day?
So you guys have to guess 3 countries that have recognized Scientology as a religion.
3 countries: the United States of America.
That's one. Canada.
Country.
Canada?
No, Canada is not one of them.
Canada.
Canada
I'm going to go with Australia.
No,
good one, Jack.
Australia's not.
Iceland?
Let's go with places that don't. Australia was a good choice. I'll tell you what I'm not doing.
What's that?
Okay, Portugal.
Not Portugal?
No, Frank just said that Portugal was one of them, but I would say that it is not going to be. Go ahead, Frank.
Portugal also has legalized drugs, by the way.
The UK, was it recognized in the UK?
Sweden.
Right?
No, Sweden, Spain, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, and Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know why I did.
So there you go. There's your random
Spain?
country.
That's a random set of countries that allow for Scientology. But we'll go with it, Frank. We'll go with it.
But I guess I'm escaping from, Jeff, when you were watching that documentary, what did you come away from watching that documentary with? Can you summarize it in a paragraph?
Summarized in a paragraph as you get deeper and deeper into it, people stay because they are required, because it is they've already committed to it, and they did a great job of creating an environment of small commitments to rational ideas that build to bigger commitments of less and less rational ideas, so as to create an organization that was very influential into the way people lived and breathed.
Are we still talking about Scientology?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. I got so many things to say about Scientology. Every time that we talk about this, I'm so excited that we say things about Scientology, because I have this background that I grew up in Clearwater, which is the headquarters, although I think Thom had said, no, there's a bunch of them. No, it's the headquarters of Scientology in the world. And I've seen it. I've seen the craziness that can form of it. I've written blog posts about it. I'm sure that I'm on some sort of list. There are lists. They are crazies. There are nice people in Scientology.
Yes.
But for the most part, what it does is it preys on people that have either they're alcoholics, drug addicts, or some sort of a mental problem, and they say, hey, guess what? You do not have to use any sort of drugs with us. We don't even like drugs. You can just come and be yourself, and we'll cure you. Just give us all your money. And that is what Scientology does. And that's why they go to just certain places that they go to. And that's why it's so sexy for someone who's got issues. So it's not, I don't think it's just about answering the unanswerable or giving... For some of these people, it's like a lifeline. It's their way of
Right, and
checking
that's
out.
what I meant by the explaining the unexplainable, right? So they don't know why they are always nervous when they go into auditions for a movie. But John Travolta knew he was, and Scientology gave him a way to get out of that. And so it's
Right.
always trying to explain that inside of us that we can't explain. And not...
Well,
you know.
those are little aliens that are inside of us.
Right, which is perfectly rational.
Rational. Zeno.
Which I guess religion and rationality are not, are not really necessarily together. But
As unsecular.
I'm just saying that because
secular
it's
as it is,
Easter and
right.
everybody who's religious is probably not watching this and really at church.
Yeah, we are not at church.
Joe.
Take me to church, I worship, I don't need to find it a while.
Hey, speaking of which, Jeff,
Yeah.
didn't you get yourself a license to be able to wed people?
That is correct. I recently received in the mail my entire package to be an ordained minister in the ULC, and that allows me the ability in most municipalities to perform a wedding ceremony. And I am currently scheduled to perform a wedding ceremony for a friend for that particular purpose.
Question.
Yes.
Can you perform a wedding ceremony on yourself?
Ooh, don't know. I'd have to look the law up. I think not, because I think the name of the officiant must be discrepant from the witness, which must be discrepant from the participants.
Okay.
I think. But,
Find
laws
out.
vary.
Find out on a future episode, folks, if you
Yeah.
can.
Tune in next time where we'll tell you more about ridiculous laws that nobody cares to read about.
Right. Right.
That's it.
Anything
All
else
around.
Anything else on the docket? Yeah?
Did we get any? We're waiting until tax day to find out how many candidates are on the ballot to follow up
Yes.
the harmonized conversation.
Good call. Good call. We did mention it's National Tartan Day. Speaking of Thom,
Nice.
who we are missing today. National Tartan Day is the 6th, and hopefully he will one day grace us and show us his tartan kilt, right?
Kilt.
Kilt. Yes.
And a woman in Los Angeles this week kicked an officer in the groin and then offered him oral sex. I guess that's a kiss it, make it better? I guess if you can't get them with kindness, you can get other things. I don't know. All right,
mean,
well,
if
that's all I
going
got for
to-
news.
Yeah.
All I've got for news.
Yeah. I wish you all a happy day. Happy
Happy
day.
day. Happy Ace.
Happy day. Yeah, put together some. I suggest that you put together some adult Easter eggs.
Okay.
They sell some big ones that you can include some candies and some
I thought
money.
you meant little vibrating Easter eggs. Like surprise.
You can put those in there too, because it's an adult Easter egg,
Okay,
and then
all right.
hide them around the house.
All right.
Do it after the kids are asleep, and then reignite something in your, because that's what Easter's about, right? Reigniting the love between you and your loved one. No, not at all.
I have no idea what Easter's about.
Jelly beans.
Not
Jelly
resurrection.
beans, right? It's all about a sugar high, really, is what it is.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
I think Easter. If Easter is about bonnets, I'm in support. If Easter is all about the bonnets, I'm in support.
I'd like to see a picture of that, Jeff. Send it
And
in.
on that bombshell, we'll let you know that you don't have to come back and listen to us think about the things we think about. You don't have to do it the way we do it, so you don't have to think like me.
You don't have to think like me, and I appreciate all of you for coming out on this holiday.
Frank?
Do you know that Andy Warhol's Campbell's soup paintings are regarded as amazing art?
And you don't have to think like Frank either, but we'll ask you to come back next week and think on your own, think on our own, think any way you like, but be here. And come hang out.